Caw, 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 caw.
Well, this is clipsvh and Golden, whatever the fuck number comes after his name. And today we're doing a little review on Left 4 Dead 2. So, what do you have to add to that, Golden? Nothing?
Left 4 Dead 2 overall is a very, very fun game. Let me just throw that out there.
So I guess we'll wait for this intro video to finish and then we'll get started. My little remix of the actual intro video. I like to pretend to think that I did a good job, but, you know, whatever.
Wow, actually, I have to say that is pretty good.
If you heard the song, you might, if you heard the music over Skype, you might think it's better. Alright, so, this is pretty much how the story starts right here. You're left for dead, basically, by a helicopter, and you have to fight your way through zombies, and that's pretty much the whole game there, right there. But there's a major difference between this game and Left 4 Dead 1 is that this one actually has a plot, and a pretty good plot at that too. What do you have to add to that?
Yeah, in Left 4 Dead 1, it'll just kind of, you start anywhere, and you start in like 4 different places, and there's like really no plot at all. And this you start.
This one you actually have like I mean, sure, the plot's pretty linear, but nevertheless, it's a pretty good plot. Anyway, so you fight your way through massive hordes of zombies throughout the entire game, trying to find people to rescue you and take you to New Orleans, which is where CETA, which is the branch of the military that's supposed to be taking care of the infection, are supposed to rescue you. That's the basic plot. So you still have, in this game, you still have your old classic Left 4 Dead 1 infected, like the Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and the all-important Tank. They added the new ones in this game, as everybody should know by now. The Jockey, Spitter, what was the other one? Charger. What do you have to say for that? You have anything to add, Golden?
I don't really know.
Okay. If you're wondering who the fuck Golden is, you could look down into the little doobly-doo, the description. There should be a link to his YouTube page there. And as well as a link to mine.
I got a pipe bomb.
I really like this game. Alright, let's see. We shouldn't do pros and cons yet. There's how many different campaigns? I forget. 6 now?
Yeah,
6 because of acid.
Yeah.
There's Dead Center, which you saw a couple clips from that when you're in the hotel, where you go from a hotel and you have to go into a mall and you have to fuel up a car and get the fuck out of there. Then you have The Passing, where you actually interact with some of the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors, which was in a pretty recent update. It wasn't that long ago. It was only about like a month or 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Too bad you can't play as any of them now.
Yeah, maybe in some other update they might do that. Alright. We also have Dark Carnival, which is apparently the personal favorite of like just about every goddamn person who plays this game. You're basically in a carnival, your car crashes, and, well, it doesn't crash, it just runs out of gas, or, well, who gives a fuck? You just can't drive it anymore. And you just go through a carnival and wait for it, and signal a chopper with a, concert, and here's the Dark Carnival part again. Also, after Dark Carnival, which one came after Dark Carnival?
Hard Rain.
Hard Rain? Wait, is it hard? No.
Wait, no. Swamp Fever.
Swamp Fever.
Yeah, Swamp Fever. That's a good one.
Swamp Fever was pretty good. Swamp Fever, your helicopter pilot crashes because he turns into a zombie, and you're forced to go through like this hillbilly swamp country in order to survive and find a boat owner named Virgil who's supposed to help you through the rest of the game. After that, you have Hard Rain, in which the boat runs out of fuel, and you have to go fetch fuel for Virgil to bring you to New Orleans. After that, you have, I would say, the Parish is the best one.
Yeah, Parish is all about you going through New Orleans. You find out, you get to New Orleans and it's infected. what do you know? You have to get to the bridge, and you have to run across it to a helicopter, resulting in probably the best finale in the whole history of Left 4 Dead.
Oh,
Period.
yes. If you ask me, that finale was, like, the best one that they could have possibly made. I mean, the difference between that finale, the major difference anyway, was that, just like every other finale, it was like a never-ending horde. But the difference between the bridge and every other finale you can possibly play on these games is that with the bridge, you can go through any pace you want. It's sort of like a customizable finale. Like, you can, whatever speed you go through it at, depends on how quick you finish it, and whether or not you'll die before you finish it.
I like Left 4 Dead 2's finales because you actually have something that you need to do. For example, in Dead Center, you need to fill up a car with gas. In the Paris, you need to run across a bridge. When in Left 4 Dead 1, it was all about surviving.
Yeah, true. I think we should start. We're running out of time now, so I think we should just start discussing pros and cons.
Yeah. Pros. You have a very fun zombie apocalypse game. Probably the best I've ever played.
Cons?
Wait, no, I'm not done with pros yet. Well, this game has a very wide variety of guns, as you can see. Also, melee weapons, which is a new addition to the game from the first one.
Oh, yes.
More things you can throw, more grenades, basically. Adrenaline. Yeah, way better maps, if you ask me. Way better.
I have a few pros and cons of my own. See, whenever I think of pros and cons for this game, I always bring Left 4 Dead 1 into my argument, and it's really hard not to. I mean, you think about this game, and you can't help but compare it to the first game. And then there's always different pros and cons you have for both games, and there's always going to be the one thing from one game that you think is better than the other game that you like that game more for. For example, Left 4 Dead 1 had, well, the characters in Left 4 Dead 1 just had more depth to them. Like, they were more realistic, whereas these guys, they just, well, they have their own personalities, but the personalities are kind of like, they're kind of like set in stone for these guys. Like, the way they started acting from the first campaign, I mean, the only person I see with any type of character development in this one would be Nick. If I had to be truthful, going from a smartass to like a more passive, ready to help everybody else survive with him kind of guy, and he's got to be like the only one I think had any sort of real development. Whereas the other characters just kept acting the same throughout the whole game. That's just the biggest thing I can think of, really.
And this just goes to show a Valve's masterful character development. It's just like Half-Life 2. The characters are made so well that you care about them. I mean, Nick is my favorite character. I can't go one game without playing as Nick.
Oh yeah.
Wire here plays as Ellis every time, and it's like we got like a story
I just
going.
like Ellis because he's a random redneck, and he just says the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
He just says the weirdest things, and it's just hilarious. Especially when he starts telling those random stories about his friend, Keith.
Yeah. So...
And then doctors have to call in other doctors because they had never seen, like, burns on top of other existing burns before.
Let's go.
Well, let's move on to cons.
Well, we should wrap it up.
Get to the chopper.
We know our cons. There are some features of this game that are terrible compared to Left 4 Dead 1. But then, there are some features this game has that Left 4 Dead 1 doesn't, and that kind of adds to its charm, if you ask me. Some things that are bad about it, but I can't say it's 100% good. If you want to hear more in-depth information or more in-depth conversations between me and Golden about this game, then you can see Part 2 and whatever other videos I might be uploading that will serve as a sort of commentary for the videos that I supplied for this review. You have anything left to add before, like, the last 3 seconds run out?
No.
Alright, well, that's it. That's our review, and thanks for watching.